Hey folks, it's Sam Jacobs, and you're listening to Friday Fundamentals. That portion of the Sales Hacker podcast, we come out on Friday, and we give you 1 to 2 quick actionable insights that help you sort of tackle your day and tackle your sales career. And typically, these conversations are coming from both the guests on the show who are leveraging years of sales experience, and they're coming from conversations within the Revenue Collective. That is, again, the networking association and advocacy group of commercial execs that I run. We're now in Boston, Denver, Amsterdam, Toronto, London, and of course, New York. If you want to hear more, just drop me a line and we'll talk about that in the show notes. But today we've got Bill Binch, this week's guest and the Chief Revenue Officer at Pendo, and he's going to be talking about competitive selling strategies, how to think about positioning the sale when you're going directly against what you would perceive to be a direct competitor. Now, before we get started, this episode of Friday Fundamentals is brought to you by Outreach. Outreach triples the productivity of sales teams and empowers them to drive predictable and measurable revenue growth by prioritizing the right activities and scaling customer engagement with intelligent automation. Outreach makes customer-facing teams more effective and improves visibility into what really drives results. Hop over to outreach.io/saleshacker to see how thousands of customers, including Cloudera, Glassdoor, Pandora, and Zillow, rely on Outreach to deliver higher revenue per sales rep. So Bill, thanks for being on the show. We want to talk about what are your best practices when you are selling against a direct competitor? What do you coach your reps to do? And how should we head into that conversation with the prospect?
So this is a great question. The short answer is I try to teach people to take and stay on the high road, Sam. And let me break it down for you what I mean by that. You can take a product like Pendo, which sells to small business and big business. We sell here domestically in the US, we sell internationally. We sell to B2B companies, we sell to B2C companies, and we sell in a couple spaces. We have an analytics portion of our tool, and we have a guides and in-app messaging component to our product. Each one of those areas may have a specific competitor, right? There might be a different small business competitor than in the business or national to international. And so if you try to think about things from your competitive perspective, that's going to be hard because you're always going to be chasing your tail. And so what I try to teach my team is take the high road. And what the high road is think about the customer and what they care about. And what they care about is, how do I extract value? We all in software sell technical products, obviously, or tools or platforms. But the fact is people buy them because they're looking to have some kind of output. So focus on that output. And what I try to teach my sales team is you're going to go out to market and there's going to be some, above board competitors like us that go in there and try to sell value and sell why their tool is better. And there's going to be some below board ones that try to drag you into the mud. And what I try to teach is don't take the bait. Don't go in the mud. Go back to the customer. And if the customer's saying, hey, they gave me this chart that compares them against you. Do you have a similar chart? Just be bold and confident and say, no, we don't. We don't spend time building that shit because what we spend our time on is focusing on you. And if that doesn't reverberate, if that doesn't hit to the customer, then you know what? Some customers want to see a bloodbath. They want to see you get down in the mud and duke it out with your competitor. Question whether that's a great buyer. But the reality is I like people that stay very focused on what the output is for the customer. So much so that I have a slide that I show my sales teams that says differentiator, something only Pendo does that no one else can, that our customers care about.
Oh, so you teach like specific, and of course, to your point, you have to know some of those differentiators as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that you're just going to keep everything at the atmospheric level, but you're certainly, I'm going to come and train my team on why is our product unique? Why is it different? And why does a customer care about that, right? You can say, hey, we have this feature, and the fact that nobody ever used that feature, well, that tells you your customers don't really care about it. So it's got to be something that's compelling for your buyer to want to tune into.
Makes sense. Bill, thanks so much for being on Friday Fundamentals, and it's been great having you on the show this week, so thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to join.